This is going to be the long-awaited video that everyone's been asking me for about how much I paid for my surgery. So if you want to know the answer, go ahead and keep on watching. Alright guys, so it's been approximately about a month since I've had surgery. Today is Friday, July 24th. I did have surgery Thursday, June 25th. So it's been a month and 1 day. And let me tell you guys, I'm in love with my results. I've been posting my videos up on Instagram. I do try to do like a weekly update just to kind of let everybody know how I'm doing and how I'm healing. And so far, you guys, anything after week 3 gets really boring. Like once your back stops hurting and you're like out of pain and you're just kind of going through that process where you're just waiting for your six weeks to get here, time goes by really slow. There's like not really much to show because all you're doing is just sitting around waiting. I'm like counting down the days until I could finally sit on my butt and sleep on my bed. I have been cheating a little bit here and there. I do sit on my butt for a little while just to kind of give my back a rest and to see what it feels like. And it's actually not that bad. It feels almost the same. So for all those people asking, oh, does it feel different to sit on your butt? Like those first days, yeah, because your butt is really hard. But so far right now, where my butt is already getting a little bit softer, like I can like squeeze my butt and I can kind of like shake it a little bit. Like my butt feels like perfectly normal to sit on. So yeah, on Instagram, I did go ahead and ask a couple of you guys to send me questions of things that you guys wanted answered. So we're gonna start off with the questions. We'll add in the price question somewhere in here. So one of the questions was some of the things I packed for surgery and some of the important things for you not forget. I did mention these things in my what's in my surgery bag video, but I will go ahead and just answer some of these quickly. Obviously one of the things that are very essential that you cannot forget is your butt pillow, because while you are on your hospital bed, they will put the butt pillow under you and prop you up with pillows, so there's not so much weight on your butt. Can you purchase a Bbl pillow through your doctor? Yes, you can, but I would advise you not to, because obviously they're going to sell it for much more than what it actually costs. I don't know, at my doctor's office, I think they were going to sell it for $90, and I actually paid like $40-$45 for mine, and I got mine on Amazon, and I will leave the link down below for you guys if you guys want to go ahead and buy it. I do recommend it. I had ordered 2, and the first one that I ordered, it was a little bit too small, so I went ahead and returned it and ordered another one. It was a little bit wider, which was good because obviously I already had kind of like wide hips because I do have big thighs. So, and I knew my thighs were gonna be, my hips were going to be bigger, so that kind of did help. And then another question was, can you take your own antibiotics or can we purchase them there? Like I did mention before, I did take my own medicines because I had already researched what kind of medicines I was going to be prescribed, and everything was literally over the counter. So they do prescribe you an antiseptic spray, an antibiotic spray. They prescribed you muscle relaxers, and they prescribe you like extra strength Tylenol. And I already had amoxicillin, and I had extra strength Tylenol here at home, and I did have some Norcos, and like I told you guys, I bought my own wound care supplies, so I just took all my own. But if you don't, I think it's an additional $100 if you want to buy your medicines through your doctor, but you can take your own, because you don't start taking your pain medicine until you're like already almost home, because when you leave, like you're not in pain because they have you like they give you your medicines through your IV. And then how is the epidural provided? You guys, honestly, like I didn't even feel when I got my epidural. I'm going to do a story time on my surgery, but for now I'll just answer these questions. I know when I went into the surgery room, I walked in, they cleaned me down with the Benadine, they laid me down on the bed, they're like, okay, we're gonna start getting you ready, and that's all I remember. Like I seriously don't even know if they put an epidural because I wasn't awake for it, but I mean obviously they did, because I know they told me that I went through general anesthesia and the epidural, so most likely they just did it while I was asleep, which I think is like even better, because I know a lot of girls get really nervous, and obviously just to know that there's a needle going into your spine is pretty scary. I had one with my son, so I wasn't even worried, because I was like, okay, I did it once already, why not like do it again? Because since I had already did it with my son, I knew it wasn't gonna be a big deal. You just basically just sit there, hold your breath, try to relax so that they obviously get your spine. So to me that wasn't a big deal. And can it be done while you're asleep? Like I said, I think they did mine while I was asleep, because I don't even remember them doing it. Okay, and another question was, did I have an extended tummy tuck? and your BBL and your boobs done all together. Yes, you guys, I did get a mommy makeover, meaning that I did get a tummy tuck, breast lift, breast augmentation, lipo 360 of my high back, low back flanks, which are just like your muffin top area. And I did get my BBL, which is my fat transfer, the fat transfer to my hips and my butt. And I did get arm lipo as well. And the question was, what was your hemoglobin level, and did your doctor have any concerns doing all the procedures together? I believe when I got there, my hemoglobin level was like at a 14 or a 12, which was normal. That is one of the reasons why your doctors ask you for you to do your blood work. They want to do your blood count, your blood panel, and all that stuff to make sure that your body will be able to resist a surgery like that. And since mine was mine was like 5 different procedures in one, they made sure that my blood count was going to be high enough for me to be able to handle surgery like that, which I did. But like I told you guys, I did have a blood transfusion because I did lose some blood during surgery, which is, I don't want to say normal, but it's not out of the norms. Like, yes, it does happen, like whether you go in there healthy or not. Some people's body does not take well to surgery and they do lose blood, and it's not the biggest deal in the world for you to get a blood transfusion. Like, I got a blood transfusion and I wasn't dying. They just did it as a precaution to make sure that I went home and I was like in a good healthy condition, because some people like do end up getting like anemia and stuff like that, but I felt fine. And like I told you guys, they did prescribe me like injections to prevent blood clots because of the transfusion, and I'm perfectly fine. Like, I'm even going back to my doctors just to make sure everything was fine. It's fine with me after surgery. But like I told you guys, I didn't faint. Like, I had maybe 2 scares where I felt like my blood pressure dropped, and one of them was because I was like hella nervous that I had I think one of them was after the shower, because I had been in the shower for a little too long and I think it was hot, and I think it made my blood pressure drop. And then the second time was because I did have to remove one of my own stitches from my left boob, and just the thought of, oh my god, what if we like nip my areola and we miss it or something like that, that just freaked me out more, and that's what had me worried, and I think that's what made my blood pressure drop a little bit. Okay, someone else asked, did you get breast implants or a lift? I got both, and I did get Motiva gummy bear implants. Did you have another faja to wear while you were washing the one they gave you at the hospital? Yes, I did go ahead and purchase a second faja because I knew it was just going to be easier to have a second one. If I would have known like what kind of post-op fajas they give you, I knew it would be one with the zippers on the side, but I didn't know exactly which one they would give me. So that's the only reason I didn't buy one ahead of time. And then sometimes you could go ahead and buy one and then you won't know what size you need, so sometimes it's not even worth buying it before surgery. So I did pay an extra $160 for my faja, which is crazy. Like I told you guys, they are going to sell you everything as expensive as they can, and the brand is Morena. It has hooks and zippers on the side, and you just kind of pull it up. It's a post-op surgical faja, and I'll go ahead and put a picture somewhere up here. But you guys, I totally recommend for you guys to have an extra faja, because you never know if you're gonna need it. Like, let's say you get dirty throughout the day, when you hop in the shower, once you get out, you have another one ready to go instead of having to sit there and wait for it to be out of the washer. Like I told you guys, I live in an apartment, so I don't have a washer or a dryer in my apartment. My unit actually has a laundry room downstairs, but still, it's like a pain in the butt. You have to wait like a 30-minute cycle for it to come out, and then you can put it in the dryer, but I chose not to. That's a whole nother 30 minutes for it to dry. So it was just easier for me to have an extra one for me to have on, just to be able to switch out of it like in case I needed to. Same thing, I did order an extra bra from Amazon, and I'll go ahead and leave a link down below. And it was a post-surgical bra, which is awesome, and I actually liked how it fit better than the one they actually gave me, because it was a little bit looser, because the one that they gave me at the hospital, the one my doctor gave me, is actually pretty tight, and it like cuts into my sides. Like, I don't know if you guys could see, but I get like these red marks from it. Oh, and then I'll go ahead and show you guys my scars from my lipo and like my body and all that, since I still haven't done that on YouTube. Was a urine catheter inserted for surgery? And if so, were you asleep? Yes, my friends, we do get a urine catheter for you to be able to pee while during surgery or while you're in recovery. And you don't feel it because they do insert it when you are asleep, but they do pull it out on the day that you are leaving the hospital. And let me tell you guys, it's not bad. You don't even feel it. All they do is ask you to open up your legs, and then they just kind of start pulling it out, and you guys don't even feel it. I'll show you guys a video. I have a video of when they took mine out, but you guys don't even feel it. See?
Yeah.
Oh. What else did you have to pay for at the hospital? Like, was that not included in your procedure, like labs, EKG, etc.? So for my procedure, what was included in my price was a 24-hour hospital fee, the surgeon payment, diet before and after surgery. They do go ahead and send you an email where they let you know like the things, how you can start preparing for surgery, like your vitamins, if you want to start leaning down, if you want to start eating like foods high in iron and stuff like that for your body to be ready for surgery. And then a diet for after surgery, that way you're not eating too much fatty food, that you're still eating food that's high in like iron, vitamin B, protein and all that, to make sure that you have a smoother recovery. And it includes one post-op faja, like I told you guys. It includes your pre-op studies, which is your blood count, your electrocardiogram, which is your EKG, and your general physical, which is basically you go to Tijuana, you go see Nurse Fanny, they draw your blood, they do your EKG, they ask you your weight, your height, and all that stuff, if you have any medical conditions, and that's it. Things that are not included in your price is a Bbl pillow, which they do sell for $90, an extra faja, like I told you guys, $160, medications for after the surgery, which are $100, and your massage, which are $45 each. And something that was not included in my surgery that I did add on was arm lipo, and I told you guys I paid an additional $600 for it. And some people are like, oh well, your arms are still fat, why did you get arm lipo? Like, dude, like, I didn't get arm lipo for my arms to be pencil thin. I got them, if anything, for the preventative measure, so that my arms don't get fatter. And I tend to gain fat right here in the front. This is where my arm fat actually usually collects. And when they do arm lipo, they could only do the bottom part, like where the jiggle's at. And as you guys see, I still have a little bit of jiggle. But I did it because I didn't want my arms to get fatter. Because when I do gain weight, the first areas for me to gain weight are my arms, my stomach, and my face. As you guys see, my face, you know, slimmed down a little bit too. You know, this contour, you know, it's helping me out. But my face did slim down already, and I am back down to my post-surgery weight. I'm 164 pounds, and somebody had told me that you gain 10 to 15 pounds after surgery, and that is so not true. I think if anything, I was only like 5 pounds up than my normal weight. Yeah, so my swelling wasn't that bad, or whoever told them that was the wrong information. And I also do have the extra areas for procedures that I did want to let you guys know if you guys do decide to go through Vive. So the double chin lipo is $600. That I did not get because homegirl gets fat anyways, and the double chin, I stopped eating and it'll go away. So that, to me, that wasn't even worth it, because that thing will come back, because I have seen people that get chin lipo and it comes back. Leg liposuction, $600, which originally I did want to go ahead and add to my procedure, but then if I thought about it, I was like, well, if they leave my thighs too skinny, it's not going to match my body, because I do tend to have bigger thighs. So if I was going to get a BBL and like my hips done, I didn't want to have skinny legs, because I didn't want the legs to not match the butt. And I'm actually so glad that I didn't do it, was because since I did get a tummy tuck and I got my boobs done, the fact that I would have needed my legs to do everything, and having thigh lipo would have made things worse, because obviously you're going to be sore from that area. There's people that get their like thigh skin removed, and then you get stitches, and then they pop their stitches. I was just so glad that I didn't do that. So that's one thing I would advise you guys. If you guys are planning to get a tummy tuck, like, do not do your thighs at the same time. I would rather just do a second round and go back and do my thighs, because you honestly use your thighs for everything. I remember, like, even to stand up, like, I couldn't even really use my arms that much, because you're not supposed to put any weight on your breast. And then obviously your stomach is so tight that you really don't even want to use your upper body. All you use your legs. So I know I would have probably been worse if I would have had thigh lipo. Buffalo hump liposuction is basically that little area where your spine kind of begins to curve up here behind your neck, and some people have like that little hump, and that's an additional $600 for that area. Buccal fat removal is where they move fat from inside your cheeks to make your face look slimmer. That's another $600. If you want an extreme waist, that is when they go ahead and like break your ribs. It's called the rib luxation. That's $1,000 extra. J plasma, $2,000. That's a different kind of technology that they use for lipo. Ab etching, $600. That's when they make those two lines going down your abs to make it look like you have more of a six-pack. An HD lipo, $600. That's another different kind of technology that they do use for lipo. Someone else was asking me about payment options. Do they take payment plans? Do they take credit cards? Do they take debit? From that I know of, they do not. I know when I put my deposit down, I did have to sell it through my bank account to their Chase bank account, and it's either cash or cashier's check the date of surgery. So they do not take personal checks and they do not take money orders, so I doubt they take credit cards. I know the day of surgery I paid everything cash. I had my arm lipo, paid that cash, and then when it came time for me to have to pay my extra night stay, which was $160, and my blood transfusion, which was an additional $600, that I was able to pay through a debit card, because obviously not everyone takes extra cash. Yes, I could have paid it cash, but since they gave me the option to pay with my debit card, I just went ahead and paid it with my debit card, because I didn't know if I was going to need that extra cash, if I was going to have to stay an extra day, because they did recommend for me to stay an extra day, but I chose not to. Somebody else asked, what was my BMI before surgery? My BMI was 27, so that means I was about 20 pounds under the max limit for you to have plastic surgery with Vive plastic surgery. I know there are other doctors in Tijuana that don't mind if your BMI is over 30, but in my opinion, if a doctor is willing to operate on you with a BMI higher than 30, then he doesn't care about your well-being, because when you're at over 30, you're considered obese, overweight, which means that you have higher risk of complications. So if your doctor doesn't mind that your BMI is that high, I honestly doesn't think he cares about your well-being at all. So my doctor will not operate over anything over 29. They'll make you lose weight before they even book you for surgery. Okay, another question was, how bad is the pain and would you do it again? I'm afraid of pain. You guys, I've seen so many videos on YouTube, on Facebook. I've seen people's reviews on how they felt about their surgery, how they were crying, how they just wanted to rip their bandages off, that they ended up going to the ER for extra medicine or just to be under observation. You guys, I honestly woke up and I started freaking recording myself. Like, my pain was not that bad. I had told you guys, I think your pain tolerance than most people, and I think that is so true, because I woke up and yes, I felt a little stiff, I felt a little bit sore, but was I dying in pain? No, I wasn't crying. I was not like buzzing the nurses like, yo, give me medicine. Like, no, if not, I was just like, I'm chilling. Like, the only thing that really did bother me was whenever I had to sit up, because they would come in like every 2 hours to check my blood pressure. They came in, they were monitoring my oxygen levels, and because I was on the oxygen for a little bit, so when the doctors would come in and sit me up and they would check my lungs to see how my lungs were breathing and all that, how my lungs were doing, like, that's the only part that hurt it, whenever they would have to sit me up. And other than that, it was not painful. Like, my boobs, yes, it felt really tight. Like, I couldn't gasp air. Now I can. And you feel like your stomach is really tight because of the muscle repair in your tummy tuck. But honestly, you guys, I think the worst was a 3 out of 10. And then in my story time, I'll include this, but I know on like my 4th night home at night, I think it was like at 11 at night, we were getting ready to go to bed, and then all of a sudden I was sitting in my chair just laying there like watching TV, and all of a sudden I start breathing, and I feel this sharp stabbing pain like on my right side. Like, whenever I would inhale, like, I felt this shooting pain on my side, and I was like, oh my god, what's going on? And that's the only time I really did freak out. I remember I text Nurse Fanny, I text the doctor Dario, I freaking called the recovery house because I wanted to get an answer right away. They're like, oh, it's probably your faja, or it's just your body, you know, like your skin retracting, your muscles and all that moving back in place. But like, if you want, just take an extra pain pill, take a pain pill. But if you do feel like it keeps going, then yeah, we would advise you, if you want, to go to the ER. But they told me that it was pretty normal to not freak out, and I was like, oh my god, you guys, that was like the only night I freaking cried myself like to sleep. I think the medicine, it took about the medicine to kick in for like 20 minutes, and those 20 minutes I was just crying. And it wasn't so much as the pain, I was freaking out because, you know, I was fresh out of surgery, and I was like, oh my god, what did I do to myself? That was probably like the only time that I questioned my decision to have surgery. I was like, oh my god, I can't believe I did this to myself. I could be freaking dying right now, and it's all my fault, blah blah blah. But it went away after that, so I was fine. In the morning I was like, damn, thank god. But that was a scare. Finally, the question that everybody's been asking me everywhere, and I've been putting it off because I wanted to answer it in this video, was, how much did you pay, if you don't mind me asking? And did you have to lose weight? Okay, no, I did not have to lose weight for surgery. Like I told you guys, when I got my quote back in April, I was 160 pounds. And when it was surgery time, I did gain 5 pounds. So, but I was still under a BMI of 29. Like I told you guys, my BMI was 27. So I did not have to lose weight for surgery. Okay, and to tell you guys how much I paid $13,100 for my full body mommy makeover. And I'm gonna break it down to you guys exactly how much I paid. Oh wait, that's not including my hospital fees. Okay, that would only be including for my procedures, because that's still not adding like my extra night stay. That's not adding for my blood transfusion. It's not adding all the Bbl essentials that you need for recovery and all that stuff. So just for the procedures alone, I did pay $13,100. I paid $7,500 for an extended tummy tuck, muscle repair, Lipo 360, and a Bbl. I paid $5,500 for my breast lift and augmentation. I did at $600 for the arm lipo. So if you do the math, that's about $13,100, because I had already put down my $500 deposit. So if you go ahead and add the extra night stay plus the blood transfusion plus the extra faja, I get a grand total of $14,520, and that's not including my zero gravity chair, my medicines, my ointments, my clothing, everything that I used to prepare. That's still an additional. We're just gonna round it up and say I paid a total of $15,000, okay? And then you still have to add your massages, which I still ended up getting cheaper, but since I do drive to Tijuana to get my massages, you have to put in my gas, my hotel, plus my massages. So we're looking at maybe a little bit, $15,300, you guys. This is a very expensive procedure depending where you get it at. I know there's places in Tijuana that will do it a little bit cheaper, but I chose to go to the safer route. I trusted my doctor. I loved his results, so I chose to pay a little bit more than the average doctor in Tijuana. Plus, my doctor is board certified and he does not have any deaths. He does not have negative reviews, so it was worth spending that extra money on him. So I'm happy with my decision to pay that amount. And plus, like I told you guys, I turned 30 this year. I graduated college. I said I wasn't having any more kids, and the girl deserved it, okay? She had it, she spent it. Because I want it, I got it. I want it, I bought it. Okay, now to get back to the other question. How comfortable did you feel going to your surgeon, the facility, and the staff? So like I had told you guys, I did do my research. I had looked at 5 different doctors. I had read all kinds of reviews on experiences and doctors that people had went to in Tijuana. And when I narrowed it down to Dr. Omar Jimenez, I felt really confident in my decision because he was board certified. He has great reviews. Yes, he is a little bit pricier than most doctors, but I thought that was well worth me feeling that my life was going to be in the right hands. And yeah, you guys, like, that's all you guys really need to look for. Like, do your homework, make sure your doctor is board certified, make sure that, you know, the reviews are great, people are happy with the results, the way he is with his patients. Does he have good aftercare? Does he keep in contact with you? Does he make you feel safe? Does he make you feel comfortable? Does he answer your questions? That I feel like I got to this day. I still talk to him. I do message him on WhatsApp, and he's well aware of how I'm recovering, and, you know, he's very supportive. So please do your research. When you decide for a doctor, you'll know if it's the right one. And don't go based on price, people, because that's the biggest issue people have, that they do go to their doctors based on the price, and a lot of the times people end up getting botched. There's a lot of ladies dying out there that have been flying out to the Dominican Republic just because it's way cheaper, and unfortunately they do not come back. You guys, so make sure you do your research and ask other people that have gone to those doctors, and don't just do it based on the money. What are some of the things that they ask you when you do a virtual consultation? So the first step is basically you contact them. I did contact Vive Plastic Surgery through Instagram, and they did have this information: weight, height, age, previous surgeries, chronic diseases, daily medications, allergies, and 3 photos from the front, the back, and the side. And obviously they want to know what procedure you want. So I told them that I wanted a mommy makeover. I gave them my height, which was 5'5". My weight was 160 pounds. My age, I was 30. I was 29 at the time, sorry, 29. Previous surgeries, I had a C-section. I had my gallbladder removed and my wisdom teeth removed. Chronic diseases, I do get chronic migraines, so I did let them know about that, and that I do have a prescription medicine I take as needed. Daily medications, like I said, my migraine pills as needed, but they're not daily. Allergies, I have none. And my photos. How long do you recommend taking off work for recovery? I feel like depending on the procedure, if you're just simply gonna go in for like a breast lift and an augmentation, I would suggest you take about 3 weeks off, because at 3 weeks, that's when I felt like I didn't have that much discomfort in my chest, because before I couldn't really raise my arms or do too much movement, like I couldn't pick anything up. So I want to say 3 weeks for that. For regular lipo, I would just say 2 weeks, and that's a lot, because obviously lipo you're just sore. But if you have like a office job where you don't do a lot of lifting or a lot of moving, then you could go to work right away. For a tummy tuck and a BBL, I do suggest, depending on the kind of work you do. Some lady told me that she worked at a bakery and that she would have to do a lot of lifting. I suggested her to just take the whole month off, because I feel like at 3 weeks your back does hurt a little bit less, but your body still needs time to heal. Like outside, your incision might not hurt as much, but internally you do have to heal. And then you have to remember, you do have with your incision, the more lifting you do and the more tension there is to the incision site, it will like stretch and get red, and it'll probably possibly rip open. So I say just do the full month, the 6 weeks if you can. Same thing for the BBL, depending on your job. If you have a sit-down job, then you could go back to work in like 2 weeks. But you have to remember, you have to take your BBL pillow everywhere. So whenever you drive, whenever you sit, wherever you go, you have to take your BBL pillow. But for me, since I do work at a school, because I am a teacher, I know that's something I haven't mentioned, I'm taking my whole 6 weeks off. Like, exactly what do you have to do before your surgery? Like, I know there's some pills you're supposed to be drinking 1 month before. My doctors did suggest I start taking vitamin B, C, iron, and folic acid a month before surgery. It's more recommended the longer you take them, the better, as long as they're in a safe dose. That way you get your body time to start building up that blood, you know, make sure it's going to be able to heal itself, and all those extra red blood cells that you do have to produce. So I feel like the longer you take them, the better. And like I told you guys, I need a blood transfusion, and I was taking my vitamins regardless. One thing I did not stop was caffeine. Like, off and on I would drink coffee, because I am a big coffee drinker and a soda drinker. Everybody knows I love me my Coca-Cola. So if that had to play any factors in me needing a blood transfusion, we will never know, because they cannot pinpoint why you need a blood transfusion. Question about pain, I would say the worst was a 3 out of 10, but that was like maybe on one day, and everything other than that, I feel like it was very minimal, you guys. Like, my migraines hurt more than the surgery hurt it. And would I do it again? Hell yes. So far right now, I love my results. My boobs, you know, they're starting to settle more. Like right now you can't really see them, because, you know, I'm not really big on showing my boobs and stuff like that, but so far right now everything looks great. I didn't get lipo on my stomach, because as you know, when you get a tummy tuck, you cannot lipo your stomach. So far my stomach is flat, but if I see, you know, that, you know, I do start gaining weight, or like my stomach isn't as snatched as I wanted to, I possibly will go for a second round of lipo on my abdomen. And then depending, like I told you guys, how my boobs settle, I did want to do 550, 600 cc's, and I got 380 and 425. If I feel like they're way too small, then I will go back and get them done bigger, possibly next year. How did I sleep? Like I told you guys, I did buy a zero gravity chair, and I did cut a hole at the bottom, which I feel now that I have it and I slept in it, I don't think it's necessary. I feel like you putting your BBL pillow on the bottom under your thighs and like 2 pillows in the back to support your lower back is more than enough. So I don't even think it's necessary for you guys to cut the hole, because after a while, you, depending on how wide your hips are, you're gonna see that you're gonna be kind of sitting on the rails, and it gets pretty uncomfortable. So, but other than that, the zero gravity chair worked great for me, because it does recline, so I was able to sleep in it, just relax, and it was comfortable, and I definitely recommend it. It's better than sleeping on a bed. Someone else said, I've heard that after having an epidural you have back problems. Has this been your case for after the surgery? Like I told you guys, I did have the epidural with my son 9 years ago, and I've never really suffered from back pain. So I think that's more like of a myth, because I don't think it's been proven that epidurals do cause back pain. Someone else asked me, do you think the stiffness of the back is due to being hunched over and not be able to stand up straight? Yes, obviously your back is used to being vertical position, and obviously you're walking around, you're moving around, you have that flexibility, and when you have a tummy tuck you do not have it. So your body is not used to that position, and obviously the more you are in a certain position, that's when you begin to have back problems, and obviously that stiffness. And yes, it is because of the tummy tuck. How many cc's did they put in each of your butt cheeks? I have no idea. I did not bother asking. But I think there's more than enough back there, you guys. At first I was freaking out. I thought that my butt was going to be way too big. But now that it's kind of settling and it's already fluffing. Well, I don't know if it's fluffing, but it's way softer already because I could already squeeze my butt. I feel like it's a good size. Who does my massages? One of the girls from the Vive recovery house. I actually do go to her to get my massages done in Tijuana. I will link her down below, but her name is Fernanda, and she is the bomb, you guys. She has all her little machines and she hooks it up, you guys. I totally recommend her. I will link her down here somewhere, but go ahead and check her out. She's the bomb, and it's way cheaper than going to someone else. I don't mind driving the 2 hours, sitting at the border, waiting to cross, having to spend the night, paying for a hotel, because it's still way cheaper than getting them. Someone else asked me, why did I not stay in a recovery home? How did you feel at home? Did you go and get your drains removed? I did not stay in a recovery home because I do live 2 hours away from Tijuana, and I didn't want to stay somewhere else and pay all this extra money to get taken care of by somebody else when I knew I could be at home taken care of by my loved ones. How did you feel at home? I feel there's no place like home, you guys. I was here, I was comfortable. My sister-in-law was here, my boyfriend was here, my nieces were here. My son ended up coming back after a week of him being on his dad's. And like I said, there's no place like home. I was so comfortable to be in my own space, knowing that I was going to get the care and attention that I needed. Did I go get my drains removed? Yes, I did. I went back the first week, my first post-op checkup. They did remove the back drain because I was almost at 50 milliliters that I was draining a day. When I went back for the second week checkup, he did remove the 2 front ones plus the stitch. Took off the ones for my arms. He took off the ones for my belly button. Took off the tummy tuck one. He took off the butt ones. And then on my 3rd week, he took off the ones for my boobs. How many months before did you start taking the vitamins? I started taking them 2 months before. So I guess some people are wondering why is it that I was able to get a whole mommy makeover, and I guess now a lot of people are getting denied getting a mommy makeover. I don't know if it's because doctors want to make more money, or maybe it's just safer to do less procedures at once. I know they did suggest me when I first asked for it to split the procedure so I could have an easy recovery, but I knew that I wasn't no little punk and I was going to be able to do it. So I chose to do it, and I think it was well worth it. Did I go alone? No, I did not. My mom took me and brought me back. Are the foams and boards for a tummy tuck or Lipo 360? Foams and boards are actually for both. Your foams and your boards help you drain, they help with swelling, and they help keep your faja tight once it starts loosening up, because you want to be as compressed as possible to preserve your results, your body type, to make sure you don't get any lumps, you don't get fibrosis, so make sure you don't get seromas. Who was your doctor and where did you stay? My doctor was Dr. Omar Jimenez at Vive Plastic Surgery. He does have his own practice in Culiacan, and I truly recommend him. He is board certified, and I love my results. Did I feel safe there? Yes, I did feel safe. I knew going to have surgery in Tijuana was going to be way different than doing it out here in the States. But you guys, Tijuana has such a bad stigma that it's so dangerous, that people get kidnapped, that people get robbed. But you guys, that happens everywhere. Don't just go by what other people say, and just trust the process and go and explore, do your research, do your homework, go find out, and you'll see that it's not that bad. Any regrets, and how did you decide on the doctor you went with? No, I do not have any regrets. The only thing that I'm somehow a little bit like, I wish would have went different was my boobs, because like I told you guys, I did want to go 550 to 600 cc's, which would have put me at a double D, but the doctor suggested, since I was getting a breast lift and I did get my areola resized, I don't know if I told you guys, but my areola is smaller than I originally had it. I did lose skin, so maybe that's why he didn't want to go as big. He said it would just be safer for me to go start out smaller and once my skin stretched out and depending on my healing, I could go back and get them done bigger. So we'll see. Sometimes I do like this size, but then I know what I want it, but they don't look that bad. So we'll see if I end up going back to get them done bigger. Someone said they want to see my healing results and that I look amazing. I have one question. Was it near your surgery? Was it hard to reach them? I read that so many reviews on how they like last minute cancel or you can't reach them. I know I've been getting a lot of people reaching out to me saying that it's really hard to get in contact with the coordinators at Vive right now. And I do know that it is a common thing. I know at first when I got my coordinator Alexa, she would like reply to me like right away within a day or two, and then there was sometimes when I would call and she would not pick up. But they have about 5 different numbers that you could call, and I would just call all of them. Whoever answered, I would have them answer my questions and tell them to call me back ASAP. And if you guys are not happy with your service, go ahead and send a message to Dr. Sergio Verduzco, who is the owner, and let him know that you guys are wanting to work with them, but their customer service sucks. But no, they did not cancel me last minute, and I was able to reach them for everything that I needed. How are you doing today? I'm doing great. Recovery went by like a breeze. It's already been a month, you guys. Can't believe that. Are you happy with your arms? Is there a difference? I want to do lipo in my arms and a tummy tuck. Like I told you guys, the purpose of me getting lipo in my arms were not for them to be pencil thin. It was just kind of as a preventative measure for them not to get any bigger in the future, hopefully. And yes, you guys, I could see that there's a difference, but like I said, they're not like pencil thin. What number did I call to get my blood work, EKG, and appointment? Like I said, you would have to arrange that with your coordinator. Vive BMI requirements, like I did mention, 29. They will not work with you with a BMI higher than 29. Bedside manners, I feel like yes, the coordinators with the customer service kind of does suck, but they checked in on me very well. Dr. Mar did see me both days. Dr. Verduzco was there actually in my surgery, and then he was the one to come in, talk to me, and let me know that I was gonna need a blood transfusion. His mom is the nicest lady ever. She also came in and checked on me on both days, and she's so sweet. So overall, I don't want to say customer service through the whole Vive is horrible, but I know with the coordinators it does get a little bit hard. Like I said, I still contact them through this day. I do go back to the office to get my post-op checkups, and I'm not gonna lie, you guys, it takes me about 2.5 to 3 hours to get seen because they're so overbooked. But other than that, once you're in there, like, he does sit there and spend the time to answer your questions, ask you about your recovery, if you have any doubts, any suggestions and stuff like that. And for your post-op appointments, you will be seeing Dr. Verduzco and his assistant. How were they when you passed the border? I don't have a passport. I do have a passport, and after surgery when I went home, I did forget my passport, and we ended up going through the Sentry line, so we had to go to secondary, and we're stuck there for about an hour. But every time I cross, I do not have a problem. They just ask you where you're going and where you're from, and they just look at your identification, and then they let you through. Oh my god, girl, it would have been nice to have more help since you're fresh out of surgery, but you handled it like a pro. Your pain tolerance must be sky high. I'm sure you will recover just fine. Take it easy though, don't overexert yourself. Your body needs to heal. Oh, thank you very much. Can a doctor in the States take you off work during recovery time? I think it depends on your doctor. If they're nice enough, I know there are some that will do it for you. Your mama is the real MVP. Hell yeah, you guys. My mom is the plug. Oh yeah, a lot of people do recognize me from the Instagram. Because I did get reposted by Vive, so there have been girls that recognize me when I show up to get my post-op appointments, and then there have been some girls that recognize me, and I'm like, oh my god, you guys, people actually watch my video. Did they test everyone for COVID before surgery? Yes, they do. They test you the morning of, and if you do have the antibodies, they do not go through with the surgery. They send you home, unfortunately. How many hours was your mommy makeover? I believe mine was 3.5, 4 to 5 hours long. I'm not sure. How long do they take to give you a surgery date? Mine, I think I got it within 3 days. The hospital is called Hospital Mi Doctor. My pain from the tummy tuck was minimal, you guys. The only thing it feels like is with the ripping tape the first week. After that, you're fine. Do you feel safe in the Airbnb? Yes, I did feel very safe, you guys. I definitely recommend real apartment suites because they were so nice and clean. When you wear your board, does it mess with your incisions? Actually, no, it does not. Even after I got my tape removed, I would cover my incisions with pads just to make sure that there was more pressure on them and that I wasn't able to stretch them as much. and the boards, you put them right over your incision, not necessarily where the incision starts, but you want to cover it to make sure that that area is less, it moves less, and that way you create less friction. Is it okay to wear them while being hunched over? Yes, it did. I started wearing my lipo foams 4 days after surgery because that's when I noticed that the swelling was going down. And then I started wearing my boards like the week after, because once I got the okay from my doctor, I started wearing them. What hotel did you stay in? Like I said, a Zona Rio apartment suites. I found them on Airbnb. Yes, you guys, I was prepared. Like I told you guys, I did my homework. I researched. I made sure that I did everything possible to have a fast and easy recovery. And so far, you guys, it's been great. And yes, this will be the end of the video. So if I did forget to answer any questions or anything, please leave your comments down below and I will go ahead and answer you guys. I do try to answer as many questions I get either on whatever social media account, but I hope this video was very helpful. I know it's a little bit all over the place, you know, I'm still very new to this, and it is taking me a while to upload videos because, you know, I'm just at the stage where I feel a little bit more comfortable sitting for longer periods of time. But hopefully all my videos have been very helpful for you guys. Thank you guys for the support. I really appreciate when you guys let me know that my videos, you know, make you guys feel a little bit more comfortable going through the process, because it's so real and the footage is so raw. And yes, you guys, I'm so glad that my content here, that my surgery was able to help you guys, and I hope you guys keep on watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And you guys, thank you very much. I appreciate you guys.